This is Entertainment Central right here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Entertainment Power Hour with your host, Ryan Holtz. This will make no sense to first-time listeners. or to repeat listeners, honestly, especially if Lucas is still not recording, because this is going to be a random moment in podcast history.
I am recording now. I am recording. I realize that my AC unit is still running, so I will need to step away once Andrew gets back and can fill time, so I can turn that off, so that's not going on in the background the whole time.
It'll only be on in the background during the Entertainment Power Hour with your hosts, Ryan Holtz and Lucas DeRuyter. Lucas, take it away with your entertainment.
Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. We got a great show planned for you tonight. Plenty of musical guests, some comedy that won't only entertain you, but also make you a little more introspective, make you kind of like evaluate your own personal beliefs and, as a whole, how our society is functioning.
Jesus,
but first,
that was loud from Andrew.
we gotta shout out our man, who is definitely recording now, right?
He's recording. First question for the Entertainment Power Hour.
Andrew
Is
Clark.
God real?
Yeah, sorry about that noise. I closed the window. I thought, I can get away with leaving the window open. It's really fucking hot here. And then a bus drove by. I'm like, never mind.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this episode of the Entertainment Power Hour. We'd like to thank our special guest, Andrew Clark. I'm your host, Ryan Holtz, joined as always by my partner, Lucas DeRuyter, signing off. That's when you do the intro music for Voluntary Viewing, I think, right? What is that noise? Is that your fingers?
Yeah, were you drumming, Lucas?
That's the intro to the Voluntary Viewing.
Oh,
No?
that sounded
Okay.
bad.
It sounded ASMR-y.
Oh.
It sounded like someone was fucking trying to like crinkle a potato chip bag into the mic to make someone's spine tingle across the planet.
What do I have that can make somebody tingle? Post-its.
Yeah, flip through those post-its real quick. Oh, it got me. You ASMR'd me. I don't know if it's a verb.
You ASMR'd me.
I've got
me.
I've got a fidget spinner.
Whoa.
I hit the mic with my fidget spinner. That probably wasn't very ASMR-y. Ooh, listen to that.
Listen to the sound of me slurp a twisted tea.
Oh. It was really quiet. Jesus Christ. Really, that was Andrew taking a big old bong rip.
Yeah.
Andrew, this is the worst mukbang ever. I'm sorry.
Mukbang.
Oh boy, Andrew.
This really is the
that's
worst,
like-
worst mukbang ever.
Have you? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay, I didn't know.
Okay.
Andrew's
good.
code word for taking a fat fucking rip from a bong is drinking a tea. I'm gonna drink some tea here, quick boys. You hear a lighter flick. You're like, what? I'm confused.
You just hear like me screwing in filters of a gas mask.
Yeah, Laramie tunseling it.
Going off. I forgot that was Laramie Tunsil.
Yep. That was.
Camera pans away because you still can't show that on cable TV for some reason.
I mean, you can't really show people smoking cigarettes either, so I guess it's fair play. You kind of can, but it's definitely it meets very strong backlash every time.
And this episode of the Voluntary Viewing Podcast, episode 102, recorded on July 5th, 2020, will receive no backlash. It's going to be 100% perfect all the way throughout, and not controversial, and everybody's going to
We're
love
the anti-problematic kings. Hashtag all cops are bastards.
Much like David Portnoy, we are uncancelable.
Yeah. We offend all sides. That's our gimmick. That's totally not just like a cop-out when you get called out for saying shitty stuff.
Cancel culture.
I'm an equal opportunity offender.
You guys are just basically voting between a giant douche and a turd sandwich, like
Aha.
always.
r/enlightened
equally as
centrism.
Fuck me.
That's a full subreddit. But they call people out on that one at least. Like that's the subreddit making fun of people who are like both sides are bad. So that's fair.
And on the podcast today, we have Reddit guru Ryan
Hey,
Holtz.
I've been on Reddit for almost 10 years now. I'm an old man on Reddit.
Next up, we have the man who has watched more Vine compilations than any other person alive, Andrew Clark.
I hold the Guinness Book of World Records record for amount of Vine compilations watched. I have no memory span. Was it attention span? I have no attention span left. It's completely run dry. I can't pay attention to anything more than like 7 or 8 seconds. Who are you?
I am a man who is kind of curious about frog TikTok, but not curious enough to justify downloading the entire app and putting up with the rest of the nonsense.
The fucking malware that is TikTok.
I mean, it's definitely spying on people, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think, if I remember correctly, it's owned by a really problematic Chinese company.
I mean, all social medias are spying on you, and all social medias are, like, problematic inherently.
I mean, my understanding is that every app pretty much that you download that has any access to like anything in your phone pretty much has access to most of it. From what I've heard, though, and I'm not an expert, it seems like TikTok's kind of next level. Very malicious, but like
So,
I don't really know.
here's the problem, is there's a lot of right-wing actors that are seeing, like, K-pop stans and shit like that, and are actively trying to discredit TikTok as a platform, not out of, like, you know, caution with the Chinese companies, and more, like, trying to shut down a platform that has been used to protest, like, conservative politicians. So I'd be a little careful about the sources that you're reading into on that, is all I'll say.
Okay. This has become a multifaceted...
Fox News is the
yeah.
main advancer of the TikTok, owned by, you know, like TikTok's tearing apart like the entire fabric of the nation because of spying on children and blah 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 blah. So that's all I'm going to say.
Fair. I will keep an eye out.
And we got plenty to say about the goings-on of the world in the News of the Week segment. Twitch suspended the relatively inactive Donald Trump account for hateful content. Furthermore, the Donald subreddit was closed by Reddit, as was the subreddit dedicated to the problematic Chapo Trap House podcast.
I'm amazed that this was this week. I was like, oh, this is old news.
Yeah?
And then I clicked the article and it was 6:29.
Nope.
I was like, fuck, man. Yeah, that was this week. That was Wednesday.
Apparently, yeah, I know. Like, I saw that too. I'm like, I could have sworn we covered this like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, no, that was just like 4 days ago. But apparently, the only thing that the Trump Twitch account was doing was like every once in a while they would play like an old rally from like 3 or 4 years ago.
When some people actually went to them. Yeah.
And then the infamous, like, I'm running for president speech came up where he's like, Mexicans are coming in and they're rapists. And they're like, you can't say that. On Twitch, at least. And, yeah, they took it down.
There you go. And also those subreddits that have been removed were totally like kind of a toothless removal by the Reddit admins because those subreddits had already migrated off platform. So it was kind of like a win-win situation for the Reddit admins. They got to pretend to stand up to all those people while not actually having to do anything.
The easiest community management decision to
Almost
make.
like calling ace queen bluff when you have an ace queen. It's a very easy decision to make.
For those of you listening, we are just coming off of a poker game. I got a rare W where you're probably figuring it out already. Ryan tends to walk away the victor from these games. So, yeah.
I bluffed all in on a very legitimate sounding ace queen. Like I bet on the ace, so you could feasibly assume that I had a pair of aces, and you called that. So I was like, maybe he has an ace, but he probably doesn't have a... And then like the queen laid down on the turn, so I was like, well, maybe he has an ace, but he probably doesn't have a queen, so I'm going to go all in, like pretending to have an ace queen. And then Lucas actually had ace queen and made the easiest call of his life and soundly eliminated me from the game.
I forget what the rest of the board was, but maybe the smart thing for me to do there, textbook poker, would have been to raise you on that. But I feel like if I had done that, you maybe wouldn't have gone all in on the next hand. So it worked out for me fine in the end. The well of shitty men has not run dry. Mike Zammot, a lead designer on the game Skullgirls and Indivisible, had 2 women accuse him of making inappropriate sexual comments towards them, and EVO Online is cancelled. That is the very popular world's biggest fighting game tournament, and it was cancelled because CEO Joey Cellular was removed from his position after multiple people came forward with allegations of sexual misconduct and pedophilia, which he has admitted to.
There you go. Also Smash, right? Like the entire Smash community was canceled.
Yeah, but that one, it's more like... If you were even vaguely familiar with the Smash community, you were like, okay, yeah, it's only a matter of time.
I guess.
Which is...
I mean, it's still very noteworthy that like the entire industry collapsed in less than a week.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
It's not good shit. And yeah, same as last week. Sucks that this happened. It is fantastic that this is coming out now. Hopefully we can hold more people accountable and set a better status quo where this shit doesn't happen. Moving on, though, to what is maybe the weirdest story of the week. The U.S. Army's eSports Discord server is getting bodied right now by folks pointing out how ridiculous it is that the U.S. Army has an esports division and Discord server.
That uwu tweet.
Yeah,
just
that was
fucking couldn't.
Even the Air Force came in and was like, guys, stop.
I saw,
because apparently the Air Force like also has like a gaming division. It's just not like actually a thing the way that the Army's esport division somehow is. And it was like, nobody, absolutely nobody, not a soul. The Army's esports team. Ooh.
Yeah. I saw a really good GIF that was the Saving Private Ryan when Matt Damon's face morphs from like a young soldier to like an old man looking at the grave of, you know, the Tom Hanks's character in the movie, like just, and then fucking, you know, 60 years later, U.S. Army, uwu, just... This is what you fought for. This is what people fought and died for in World War II. For, I guess it was actually more like, 75 years later, the fucking, some random social media intern saying uwu on a Twitter thread.
The thing is that one of their superiors came in and was like, hey, we just saw your tweet. Like, people are getting mad over it. What the fuck is this? And then all that guy has to say is like, oh, it's just an internet thing. And then they're going to go, all right, sounds good. See you later.
There was absolutely an armed U.S. Army drone in the air when that tweet went
in
out.
America.
So fun.
Only other thing I have for this one is that apparently you will get insta-banned from the U.S. Army eSports Discord server if you post the Wikipedia page of all of the war crimes committed by the U.S. Army.
Let's go see.
List of burn units in the United States. Another Wikipedia joke.
How much do I have to pay for the sweaty basketball game, Andrew?
$70.
Oh.
I can't find the quote that I saw again. It might be in this article, but it was basically like the guy in charge saying like, not every game is going to cost $70 in the next generation. Only the like elite AAA titles, the ones that really deserve it, and NBA 2K is one of those titles.
The game that,
I'm like, that's hilarious.
yeah, the game that a lot of people end up spending at least like $150, $200 on,
Yeah.
with all the fucking Ultimate Team bullshit.
Yeah, microtransactions. Like, you guys could just put this out there for free, and you'd make
make a killing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they already make a
But-
killing though.
Yeah.
They'd make less money if they did it for free because their audience is dedicated to spending a fuck ton of money on it.
But like, I mean, games have cost $60 full price at launch for I don't know, since 2005, I believe the article said. So this would be the first price range or price raise in 15 years if other games start following suit, which I don't think everyone will immediately, but I can't believe it's going to be too long before every game is going to cost $70, which again, it's 10 extra dollars. It's not the end of the world, but it's like,
I definitely remember in my childhood buying games for $50. So I don't know when that price hike was, but
see, I don't.
Really?
I bought a lot of used games.
oh,
I didn't buy a whole lot of like brand new like at launch games, but I also had like a Nintendo GameCube and a
That's
Nintendo
fair.
Wii and shit.
I had an
I wasn't gonna go
Xbox
out-
and then like a Wii, and I definitely remember $50 like AAA big games. So yeah, it's coming. I mean, yeah, like you said, if it's been 60 for a long time, like the value that we now get for a $60 game versus a $60 game in 2007, like
Right.
it's obnoxious.
And with like inflation and stuff like that, I'm not going to go out here defending, corporations raising costs, amid late stage capitalism or any of that shit. But like at the same time, I get it. If you want to tell me that like Cyberpunk 2077 is going to have the same value as COD 4 on the Wii, released in like 2009, like that's just not true.
Or on the Wii. God damn it! I think there was a YouTube video of someone playing it, and the servers were
Yeah,
still
no,
up or something.
I saw that. It was like a week ago.
Yeah.
And it's like,
shit.
like I bought COD 4 on the Wii, and there were people still fucking playing
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it's more that the servers are online. That's insane.
Yeah.
When like most of the Wii
usually
has been
they'd be
shut down.
shut down by then. Yeah.
COD 4 survived, but the Wii Shop didn't.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Rip Wii Shop.
Rip Wii Shop indeed.
I don't know. I guess I'm fine paying $70 for games, but the whole reason like every game has microtransactions now is because they've said, well, we need to get more money off of these to be profitable, which is a lie, but whatever. And it's like, okay, cool. So if you're going to raise the base price of them, does that mean you're going to get rid of microtransactions? No. Well, fuck you then.
I mean, like the extra value that they're creating by raising the cost is not going to necessarily improve anything. If they're like, we're going to raise the cost of games by $10 so that we can pay our workers more, or like extend the game development timeline, or remove microtransactions, or even just make a better game, like that'd be cool, but that's not what's going to happen.
Absolutely
The
not.
games will just cost more and they will make more money off of it. But again, if they were just making the same amount of money from a game right now that they were in 2005, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So it's kind of just like this sucks, but whatever.
And of course, this is juxtaposed with the Steam Summer Sale going on, and I just bought 3 games that I'm really jazzed about for under $30.
What'd you buy, Lucas?
Yay.
Papers, Please. Killer 7.
Sure.
And the one I am perhaps most excited about and made sure to buy it on America's Independence Day, Metal Wolf Chaos XD.
There you go. That's a haul.
That last game is the one where you play as the United States president
In a mech suit, right?
and yep, and you fight the vice president who betrayed America and stole a mech suit.
God damn it.
Huh. I'm going to buy Metro 2033, Metro Last Light, Fallout New Vegas, and Doom 2016, otherwise known as OG Doom.
How much was Doom again?
$6.
Yeah, I might get that. Especially, is there multiplayer for that game at all?
There is, but I don't know if anyone's still playing it.
Gotcha. Would anyone be down to buy a $5 game called Speedrunners? If all three of us got it, could be fun. Oh, Speedrunners? It's like, it was really popular on YouTube probably like, when it first came out 4 years ago or so.
It's like a platforming racing game or something, right?
You
2D.
You race across various maps that are all 2D platforming, and then there's like power-ups and shit like that, and the stage is slowly getting smaller and smaller so that like you kill people, and it's just about how fast you can go. No. It'd be fun if all three of us got it.
That sounds like my jam.
If it's just two, then maybe not. So
we could buy the Master Chief Collection for $32.
And then get the servers shut off.
Or not.
Yep.
Now. So fun.
Is Jonathan Nolan doing something fun?
He is. Jonathan Nolan, otherwise known as the brother of Christopher Nolan. And Lisa...
And nothing else?
I'm going to defend myself for that. You cannot make fun of me for that.
Yet here
No.
I am doing that.
So, here's the thing here. When you're making fun of me for calling Jonathan Nolan Christopher Nolan's brother, it means that you were not aware of the fact at the time that they were basically tied at the hip co-collaborators. Like everything that they did together for the most part.
No, Ryan, it's not what you said that was funny.
Yeah.
It's the way you said it.
How else could I have said it?
You're like, Jonathan Nolan's making the show called Westworld. Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan's brother.
Yeah. How else could I have said it and got it across the point that like this is Jonathan Nolan and like he might have done shows like Person of Interest, which you've never heard of, or I can throw it out there that like he's a frequent co-collaborator with Christopher Nolan. Like, I don't know.
Could have said that.
No, I couldn't have. That would have been way too lengthy. I said Christopher Nolan's brother. You guys started laughing, and I was like they make all the movies together. Like, I immediately clarified.
You cannot say that's not funny.
I am saying it's not funny because it's showing your ignorance, not mine.
Show of hands, is it funny?
It's funny to the people who are ignorant and not as big of super fans of Christopher Nolan as me.
Anyway,
That's where the disconnect comes.
Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy will be working on a Fallout TV show for Amazon Prime Video. As far as I can tell, literally no details about it, because of course it was just announced. We don't know if it's going to be based on one of the stories of the games, or if it's just going to be in the Fallout universe, or if there's going to be any sort of tie-ins, or like what the fuck it's going to look like. But that should be fun. I look forward to seeing Brahmins floating about 6 inches off the ground, and people spazzing out in the corners after their heads were blown off.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Can you imagine Bats if that actually makes the TV show?
Oh, what if it's okay? No, hear me out. Hear me out. They make Fallout the TV show, but it's cut like an anime. So every time, let's say John Fallout goes into Vats, it's just like the inner monologue of any like anime fighting show, where it's like in slow motion, they're about to punch each other. It's like, well, I could go for his knee, but there's only a 13% chance. But if I go for the kill shot, there's a possibility that I might.
I mean, it's. I think you're hitting on. I think you're hitting on something kind of true, though, where I don't know what I want from this, and I kind of feel like they have to keep some, like, pretty overt video game elements in this. Otherwise, it's just any other retro future post-apocalypse thing, right?
I imagine what they're going to do is they're going to take a franchise that's known for, lots of colorful side quests and weird random characters that you meet out in the wasteland, and in the show it's literally just one character walking around doing shit and nobody else is there, and after like 2 seasons they say, hey guys, we heard your feedback and we're going to introduce other characters now.
Toss a coin to your Witcher.
Getting those 76 digs in. This almost has to be episodic, right? Because famously, the main narratives of the most recent 2 Fallout games aren't that great. So,
really? Oh, are you counting 76? Okay.
I'm counting 76.
I was gonna say, I feel like New Vegas is like people definitely celebrate that.
Right. No. Yeah. Fallout 76 main story great. Fallout 3 story.
Wait, you just accidentally said that. He was accidental.
Most people
I
like
just
it.
wanted to make sure.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't on the record.
Fallout
that
3. Fallout 3 main
76.
story pretty great. Yes. Okay.
We want to save you from the tweets.
No.
Yeah. So the first 2 Fallout games definitely have a cult following, and while I've never played it, people definitely say a lot of good things about it. I have no idea if it's actually good or if it's just like we missed that old Fallout, straight from the go Fallout.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was definitely a Kanye version. Yeah.
Oh, we'll get to Kanye.
I thought Fallout 3 was really good. I liked the main story a lot. And then I haven't played through New Vegas, but that one's definitely the most beloved main story.
New Vegas is very good.
Yeah. And then I liked Fallout 4, but I can understand that, it was flawed from a main narrative standpoint.
And I liked it a lot too. I enjoyed thoroughly playing that game. Looking back at it, it was kind of like main story is definitely meh, but...
And I mean, it doesn't have to be episodic because, like the article says, it's not. It's set in the Fallout universe. Like, it's not based on Fallout 3.
Right.
Like, it's just going to be Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, who are very talented producers, making a show about the Fallout universe. So they could do whatever they want.
It could be
actually
like
in that
right
regard,
after
maybe
the nukes. It could be farther along in the timeline than we've even seen in the games. It could be based off one of the games. Who knows? But yeah.
Now that I think about it, an anthology series might work really well here. And yeah, jumping around the timeline and locations in that universe, that might, I don't know, that'd be different at least.
I want to see the main character dressed completely different between each episode, and every outfit is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Until just like in the final episode, he's got like level 99 fucking armor.
Yeah. They're all like
Totally
min-maxed armor pieces. Like, they don't make sense from a wardrobe perspective, but just like the games, like, you look dumb, but it's actually the best armor combo.
Ryan, I know with some effort you can get Jonathan Nolan's press email. I want you to do that. We will send him a link to Adventures of Brew, and then just one of our cell phone numbers.
I was gonna say,
is this Lucas Deritor?
You're goddamn right it is, Jonathan.
Yeah, you know.
I feel like I can call you that.
No, just refer to him as Chris Nolan's brother.
Yeah. And then Chris Nolan pipes in. It's a conference call, and he wants in. Like, he wants the movie deal as well.
Chris, I'm sorry. I'm talking to John right now.
Chris, me and your brother were having a conversation. I'd appreciate it if you called me back.
Hey, Chris, can I call you Chris? Yeah, maybe when you make season 3 of Westworld, you can interrupt.
Fucking kill
But
me.
the adults are talking right now.
That would be you, but with season 2.
Yeah.
Andrew's just like...
I should have said season 2.
Chris, like, maybe when you made season 2 of Westworld, we can we can start talking here. Maybe when you create a universally beloved hit show like Person of Interest, we can talk. For now, let's let the big boys talk this over. And then when I say big boys, I'm definitely also including Lisa Joy.
Hey, Chris Nolan, when you help write the scripts for the Dark Knight franchise, maybe you can chime in.
Chris, I'm going to need you to calm down. Maybe sit down for a second. I know that's a first for you, but...
God damn it.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten all the material we can out of this bit. Anything happening in film?
The Hamilton thing came out. I guess that's like a breakout as well.
Yeah, we can talk about it here. Yeah, that's on Netflix now, right? And
Disney
it's just
Plus.
a recording of one of the Disney Plus. Sorry, but it's just a recording of one of the Broadway
I think
performances.
it's supposed to be cut like a movie.
Yeah, it's cut like a movie. I watched it, so yeah.
I had to set up my parents' smart TV this weekend so that they could access Disney Plus. They've had it for like over a year.
Jesus Christ.
But they did not know how to connect it to internet or use apps.
The dots are connecting. I'm realizing why Andrew was so technophobic in college. We've figured it out. It's genetic.
Do we want to get into it? What'd you think of
I didn't see
Hamilton?
it.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, it's kind of a breakout, but I just thought, it was definitely the big film news of the week because everyone was talking about it, and no movies are coming out right now. So...
okay, to keep it to news then, I guess this just kind of opens the door a little bit for other Broadway performances to be streamed now.
Yeah, potentially.
Maybe?
But it is...
Hopefully?
I think the main takeaway is that everyone's like really, really kind of backlashing on it and calling it super problematic. And I'm just like, yeah. You can... I'm not going to argue, I guess.
Why, and I mean, yeah, I understand if you don't want to, like...
I can summarize it. I'm
views, but
not going to argue against it because that's the world we live in, but also, like, it seems a little stretchy. I don't know. I mean, like, so some of the main characters are obviously slaveholders because that's how, a lot
the
of
time period was
worked. And so it's kind of like you're glorifying slaveholders. And it's like, okay. And then, like, you're calling Alexander Hamilton an abolitionist. Meanwhile, he helped carry out... purchased slaves on behalf of his in-laws and like married into a rich family that used a lot of slaves and stuff. I don't know. And then like a lot of people like going specifically after Lin-Manuel Miranda and like calling him like a piece of shit and saying that like Puerto Ricans don't claim him because he was like kind of shitty after the hurricane in Puerto Rico and he like supported a bill from Obama that saw like a debt oversight committee that like their only purpose was to cut like costs and spending in Puerto Rico, and they ended up causing a lot of problems and shit. Like, and yeah, I don't know. I was just like, I'm not gonna say anything, obviously, but this is
right.
What's going on, I guess.
I don't know. I guess my immediate... I can't speak to anything about Lin-Manuel Miranda's character or his political views, but that the Hamilton production was less like trying to recontextualize the actual character of these historical figures and more turn the myth of these people into something more representative of the more diverse world we live in today. But I don't know. That's my gut reaction to that.
I don't.
No, I get
I'm
it.
not going to argue with someone who sees it as super problematic because I don't. My world experience does not line up with theirs, so I probably will never be able to understand where they're coming from when they say that type of thing. But yeah, like as a shitty cis white man, like it seemed progressive and really cool, and the music's amazing, and like Lin-Manuel Miranda seems like a guy that was definitely like trying to help everyone when he was doing all the things that people were accusing him of being shitty for. Like when the Puerto Rican hurricane hit, when the main criticism was that he tried to put on a production of Hamilton in Puerto Rico. And it was just like, yeah, is that bad? And then they're like, he was taking the focus off the hurricane and like just somehow trying to shift it onto like Hamilton the musical. And I was like, Hamilton didn't need the publicity. Like, he was definitely trying to help by doing that.
Was he gonna charge people?
I mean, I think so, but I think it was like charging Americans, like, and then making affordable tickets for people from the local community, I guess. I don't know, man.
All right. Yeah.
I don't know much about it. And then there was a whole thing about it was in the university in Puerto Rico. So then there was like drama students that were like, we're not able to perform because Hamilton's here. And then Hamilton and then Lin-Manuel Miranda like moved it. And then they got mad about him moving it. And I'm just, I don't know.
No, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
I'm just, So it was definitely dominating Twitter, and there was a lot of backlash and then counter backlash. So,
no,
fun times.
That's fair. And now to talk about move into the other category and talk about somebody who has never been problematic. Kanye West announces that he's running for president.
Hooray!
Yay!
The man who said, maybe still says, that the Confederate flag is his now.
I mean, it's definitely not like a real presidential candidacy. Like, you have to understand that, right?
Sure, but the nagging part of me says that that's what people said about Trump's bid. Look how that turned out.
Also, people turned Trump into a real candidate by doing the exact thing that we're doing right now, like talking about it and making it seem like a legitimate push for president and giving him a ton of airtime and press time. Like, Trump was absolutely, a joke candidate at first, but then he got a ridiculous amount of airtime to spew his hatred and message to everyone, and bam.
So
next thing you know, he's totally legitimate.
So do we think the responsible thing to do then is just to gloss over, maybe delete this section and just move into the meme corner of the breakouts?
I mean, no, I had other stuff.
Oh, go for it then.
I mean, Trump tweeted a really shitty thing yesterday about how, like, cases are bullshit because we're testing more. So therefore, like, the case numbers are wrong. And, like, people were rightfully pointing out, like, I mean, the cases are there whether we test for them or not. And, like, it seems like you're starting to angle towards your previous comment of, like, maybe we shouldn't do as much testing to make yourself look better. Like, it seems like you're taking the first step towards actually implementing that policy and testing less so that there will be less cases. Like, that seems like the creaking open the door of that policy. So that's bad.
Yeah.
And then he did the whole Mount Rushmore thing, which was read literally like the 14 words speech of, like, we need to protect our country for our future white children, or whatever the fuck the whole quote is. It was pretty fucking close to, pretty toeing the line in that speech of literally just saying a common Nazi phrase. Oh boy.
It's just fucking bad.
Absolutely nuts. And then the protests continue. And where was it? Was it was in Seattle, yeah. A protester got killed by a driver.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, a driver drove through a crowd of protesters. 2 people went to the hospital and one of them died.
And the protests are completely out of the eye of the media now. Like, literally no one's talking about them.
Not paying attention.
CHOP got broken up this week, and it wasn't even really talked about. And then what's it called? Like, now there's like this really weird, like, curfew system in place just for the Capitol Hill area, where, like, even if you live there, you need to have a police escort to your house so that, like, they can't attempt to reestablish something similar. It's just boy,
that's some crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
A black militia in Stonewall, the NFAC, stands for the Not Fucking Around Commission, or Coalition, marched down the street to people called it the KKK headquarters. I didn't actually see what it was. I don't know if it was just like where someone lived or if it was like actually like a place of operation, but basically just walked down the street with a bunch of guns and said, you guys said you wanted this shit, let's fucking get it on. Or are you just a bunch of pussies? And they didn't do anything. And they're like, all right, guess you're a bunch of pussies. And left.
Yep.
So
Stonewall, Georgia is like super fucking racist. I mean, like, I don't know if there is an actual headquarters of the KKK, but like, it's definitely kind of seen as like their stomping grounds. I mean, Stone Mountain is there, which is just a giant embossed statue of like several Confederate generals in a giant mountain. I've been there, and it's disgusting.
wait, when were you there and why?
I was there like 10 years ago because my uncle's from Georgia.
Ah.
And he's like, you want to go see us in history, the War of Northern Aggression? I'm like, not really, but I'm here and I'm 12.
Yep. In Oregon, there's a very clear video of a police officer like walking up to a Proud Boy who was
I
very
saw
specific and giving him an okay sign.
And then they like fist bumped and
and then he like pat him on his shoulder and everything like that, and like everyone was like, that's the sign for white supremacy. And then people in the comments were like, no, it's not. He's just giving him an okay sign. And it's like, okay, so that's the best case scenario is he's like chumming around with a literal Nazi. And like, if you literally take one step down that path, he's literally flashing a white power symbol at a neo-Nazi in full police uniform in front of everyone. Like, that's one step down the line of like, suspending your disbelief.
Best case scenario. Yeah. There are two options there. One is really bad and the other one is catastrophic.
Yeah. And no one's talking about either. They're thinking that somehow exonerates the cop, the best case scenario, which is still really fucking bad. Man.
Also, for
and
those
literal, like, you have to be pretty fucking naive to believe the best case scenario in the first place.
For those unaware, doing the okay sign in, I guess, kind of a specific way is very much like a white supremacist dog whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it definitely depends on the context, because admittedly it is absolutely like, a widely used still, like, this is okay, like, everything's okay. So you definitely have to evaluate the context, but let's look at the context.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, is it like next level bad. So, man, oh man. Still shitty.
Yeah.
People are still pushing. Don't stop fucking fighting.
Nope.
Like, just because it looks like for some reason all social media has completely stopped talking about it in the same way. It's literally going as strong as ever, just not as publicly apparently. There was a giant protest in the Black Hills at the Mount Rushmore Monument trying to prevent it from happening, like the whole Mount Rushmore event, and that all got broken up too.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
even though that's literally their land.
They're going after everyone. It's always been their land.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I know it always has. And
They made the monument, so yeah, like having a fireworks event on it is not exactly registering either. They already literally shit all over it. And it was their land that was given to them because their old land was taken too, to make it even worse.
I think I don't fucking know. Act Blue.
Also, Crazy Horse greater than Mount Rushmore.
Agreed.
There, I said it.
Yeah.
The Crazy Horse
absolutely.
monument is so much fucking bigger and better.
Outside of the context of everything that is going on right now, just objectively, Mount Rushmore sucks. Like I was there like when I was a kid, and even then, before I even when I was just a dumb kid from a small town in Wisconsin, before I had a lot of understanding of all this shit going on, and when there weren't all these protests, I knew back then, like, this fucking sucks. And then we went to Crazy Horse 10 minutes down the road. I'm like, this is baller.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
I was so depressed that, like, we realize that the hike up to the face and everything only happens like twice a year or something crazy, and we missed it by I think like 2 weeks. And I was like, nah, that would have been the coolest fucking thing ever. Because like the size, like the scale of that thing is
so
ungodly compared to Mount Rushmore, and they're not accepting any federal money to make it. Because
it's just a couple of people, and they're like, "We're gonna make this because we can." And that's
just stage one too. The monument,
Yeah.
like they're gonna create an entire campus, like surrounding like learning and cultural awareness and everything like that. I think it's gonna be fucking crazy, and it probably won't finish in our lifetimes, but fingers crossed that the human race makes it to see it finish, because that shit's cool.
I think, yeah, now that I think about it, my Rushmore trip, that was probably like the first thing I witnessed that I realized and was explained to me, yeah, this isn't going to be done in your lifetime. That was my first time witnessing a project of that scale.
That is interesting. Yeah, I wonder if I had ever seen that either. Probably not. I mean, I don't know if I've seen anything since, though, either, that they were like, this is definitely not going to be done within your lifetime. That's pretty rare for like to have the dedication and the funding and everything like that to continue work on something for
generations,
like hundreds of years. That's some rare shit right there.
So I definitely didn't really grasp that when I was there. I think I was with a tour guide and like, I can't wait to bring my kids to see this when it's done, and she's like,
maybe if we get a massive increase in funding.
Yeah, pass around the tip jar.
Yep. Yep.
Do we have any ongoing or major memes we want to talk about, or are we heading right into the breakouts?
Yeah, I didn't really see any.
There was one thing that I thought was kind of funny. Not really a meme, not really a breakout. I don't want to talk about it because I know, Ryan, you are also trying to go into this movie without spoilers. But there was literally a 5-second ad on a YouTube video that I was watching that I think spoiled the entire premise of Tenet. And I won't say what it was, but it was like, not. Yeah, no, it like they basically just said it. It was a 5-second, ad. And then they just said a sentence, and I think that's the plot of the movie. And it would be like if there was an ad for Inception, and then Leo DiCaprio just sat down and was like, we're going to go inside this person's dream to make them think something else. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, it's a spoiler, but that's like a normal trailer spoiler, right? Like, that's not like...
Right, but...
You're giving away the twist ending.
But blah, 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 it wasn't that it was in a trailer, it's just that was it.
Yeah, but that's what they usually do, right?
I thought that
like
was so funny.
Modern trailers are like, the first 5 seconds are like, here's the premise, and then... Like they go into the actual trailer.
I didn't think it was outlandish at all. It's just that I was trying to avoid spoilers.
And you did not.
And this 5-second ad did that. It wasn't just like, I don't know, a bunch of like horns and shit exploding and people running. It was just two people sitting and talking, and they're like, I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of those. So I saw the trailer for Boys State, which is an upcoming documentary.
I kind of want to talk about that.
Immediately thought of you guys, and then watched the whole trailer as a result, and was like, that actually does look kind of cool.
PTSD when I saw that trailer.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about it a little bit. Like, what?
Right?
What was your guys' experience like that? Was that really what it was like?
Kind of, yeah.
Just like a slightly smaller scale, but not even like incredibly smaller. So Boys State, I don't know if it was started in Texas or if just like Texas is like the biggest one, but it definitely happens in every state, where a bunch of high school boys that are nominated by their schools go to this event for like 10 days or whatever it is, and it's kind of like a mock government type thing that works its way up from like local government to eventually someone being elected governor and trying to run a government made out of these boys.
Which is kind of fucked up, right? Like, that's definitely
it's super
weirdly exclusive.
Very Lord of the Flies-y. Yeah.
Well, there is a girls' state,
Yes.
at least in Wisconsin.
But why?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It definitely is a thing that started out as a boys' state, and then someone along the line said, like, maybe we should let girls in too. They can run for government, right? And someone's like, yeah, I guess. And then I do think that there were 4 boys from our school and 2 girls, and every school got 2 girls in Wisconsin, so it was definitely smaller, which was pretty indicative. And like.
We didn't send anyone though. Like this was not a thing in my high school. So I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I was under the impression that like almost every school did it, because I mean there was well over 1,000 guys there.
They certainly
it's 4 guys per school. There's a lot more than 250 high schools in Wisconsin.
They certainly pitched it as a big, like, every high school in the state is participating, and, oh man, if you go, you're going to make so many connections, and this is going to look great on college resumes, and no, it's none of that.
Yeah. I kind of got the impression that there was some sort of, like, inner good old boys club going on, that, like, there were, like, a handful of boys that like were already integrated into something somehow, probably their dads, rich kids with political connections, whatever, that this would somehow matter, because there were definitely a few kids that acted that way, but I never really got that impression from my interactions with guys that it was anything other than, yeah, we're smart kids. We're going to go do some smart kid stuff and also dick around.
To answer your question, though, Ryan, our attending Wisconsin Boys State, wait, I think it was called Badger Boys? Yeah.
Badger Boys State.
Yes, Badger Boys State. There were absolutely try-hard kids gunning for the governor position on the first day.
Oh, yeah. And in every single group, I mean, like, there were kids that I knew that were in our... I think they divided it up by quote-unquote counties, like counties of like 30 boys.
Yeah.
And then like districts made out of 4 counties, and then, so on and so forth up to like the whole state. And then there was, parliamentary procedure teachings and that kind of shit, because that's how the governments had to be run. Yeah, it was super weird. But yeah, there was definitely a bunch of guys from the get-go that were like handshaking as people got off of buses.
Yep. Unpacking. People were on you.
Yeah, people like knocking on doors and like, hi, I'm Andrew Clark, and I just want to introduce myself, for your consideration. I will be running for governor if I get to that point, so I want to make sure I got your support, kiddo. That sort of shit.
So,
that's fun.
Which means I am...
And you guys...
And they're our age, like we're 17 and they're also 17.
Yeah. And you also unintentionally ran into Gus Johnson...
Yeah,
modern YouTube creator who was at Badger Boys State, as we discovered from his t-shirt at the exact same time that you guys were there. Fucking crazy.
See, it was kind of wild for me, because I went to Badger Boys State and I thought I'd have a really good time, and I did enjoy it, but not for really any of the content that was there. I just ended up getting along really well with a lot of the guys there. And that was 10 days or whatever it was, and I had an afternoon. And that night, I went on to another, 10-day, 2-week-long program called World Affairs Seminar in a different part of Wisconsin with more people, and it was run by the Rotary Club. And they were from all over the world, and there were women. And I'll give you one fucking guess which one was more fun.
Yeah. My closest similarity to that was probably honors choir that I went to in like late middle school. It was like everyone in Wisconsin, every choir teacher nominated like 3 boys and 3 girls, and they just chose randomly to see who went. And it was hilarious because our choir teacher said, and I'll never tell you like who I nominated, basically. And most years he would get like 1 guy and 2 girls, or 1 girl and 2 guys, or 1 guy, 1 girl, blah blah blah. The year that I got nominated, or that I went, all 3 of his boys and all 3 of his girls got chosen. So he couldn't have the plausible deniability that, like, no, it could have been you. Maybe you were my 3rd choice.
Oh.
So he was just awkwardly like, well, these are the people, and it created so much political havoc. Like so many people who like thought that, because there was definitely like in choir the people that thought that they were good singers and the people that were good singers, and that Venn diagram was, pretty fucking bad. Like, it was almost two distinct circles a lot of the time. So there were a lot of pissed off people. But yeah, then we ended up going, and it was like it was an inclusive, all gender middle school bash at a hotel where we all practiced for a day and then spent the night at a hotel and then put on a concert the next day, and it was pretty fucking wild. So there you go. Good old times.
Probably
I've tried to find like a picture or a video of that, and I've never been able to. So
I will save the details for another podcast because we're running a little long on this one, but I can attest national forensics meets in high school were also a bash. Yeah.
They were a whole ass thing.
Yeah. Like that that's I don't think I can think of a better description than whole ass thing.
Yep. Oh, and then I also have been seeing the trailer for An American Pickle on HBO a lot on YouTube lately, and I actually kind of like it. So, but like I watched the entire trailer. Like I did the thing that the ad wants you to do because it was skippable after 5 seconds, and I was like, oh, I'd actually be kind of curious to watch this trailer. So I watched the whole 2.5 minute trailer, just like I had done with Boys State. But unlike Boys State, they have been playing it still for me as a skippable ad, like on the 10 most recent videos that I've watched. And I'm like, this ad has succeeded. I've watched the entire trailer. Why are you still serving it to me? Like, YouTube, you should have a thing where now you stop serving it because I watched the whole thing. Like, it's succeeded. You're getting nothing out of it by continuing to spam me with it.
Give me the checkbox thing. I can check to say that like I'm already interested in this. You don't have to send me more ads.
Yeah.
I bought a ticket. I have it on Blu-ray.
Ryan, what's the setup for American Pickle?
It's Seth Rogen. He plays the 2 leading roles.
Okay.
The central plot is that there's a pickle factory worker from the 1920s who recently immigrated from Eastern Europe, and he lives in New York City. And he falls into a pickle vat and basically gets pickled for 100 years.
Okay.
And then the factory closes down and they discover him 100 years later in the year 2020 and basically, revive him, and he's completely fine, and then he has to live in the year 2020 from the 1920s, and they find his great-grandson who lives in New York as an app developer, and that's also played by Seth Rogen. So there's just very 2 different worlds, 1920s immigrant living in the year 2020, and he becomes super popular. He fits in really well, an Eastern European immigrant who lived in the early 1920s actually ends up fitting really well in Brooklyn in the year 2020. Everyone's kind of he's off the beaten path. Oh, he's selling pickles, all these things. So it actually looks kind of funny, and it's one of those I can't remember the 2 movies that they chose, but one of them was 50-50.
Okay.
They chose from the producers of, and it was 50-50 in another movie that was kind of more along the dramedy type, versus they didn't say Pineapple Express and This Is the End. They chose the more dramedy angle, so I feel it looks pretty good. I'll be checking it out. It's on HBO Max.
You had me at Seth Rogen playing 2 characters.
Yeah.
You had me at pickles.
Dude, he turns himself into a pickle, bro.
He falls into a pickle vat, bro. It's so fucking funny.
He's transported 100 years into the future, bro. It's so fucking funny, bro.
Bro, just watch it, bro. Please. I'm begging you, bro. Watch it.
My entire fucking identity is based around this fucking pickle, man.
Goddamn.
Okay, I think that'll take us to the breakouts. I have a couple. Does anyone want to go before me?
No.
Cool.
Jeff Goldblum's answer is no.
So the first thing I will shout out is with the new chapter of the manga One Piece that came out this week. The story now has 2 actively involved in the main plot and really well and respectfully done trans characters, a trans man and a trans woman, and like that's really refreshing to see in that medium, and especially from One Piece, which had some previous queer character. But if from Studio Trigger, brand new animal, and it is a terrible anime that I think people are going to love, and that is deeply frustrating.
Okay. I misread what you had written. I thought you said I watched Brand New Animal and it's a bad anime that I probably love or something like that. And I looked up like images from it. I'm like, no, Lucas. No. But okay. You said it was bad. So that's that.
Have you guys ever seen a piece of media that is like the story is just awful and the themes are not good, but it's super competently made? So it's this weird juxtaposition where really great director, like every production position is just 10 out of 10, but then the writing staff is just a bunch of Bush League people.
Maybe. I can't.
I don't know. That's very specific.
None pop into my head. But maybe I have. I don't know.
That's what this is, and it's fucking weird.
It's very furry.
Yeah, and like
it's definitely furry bait.
Yep. Fine. Okay, sure. But that, yeah, so this is taking place in a world where some people can transform into not like actually furries, but like anthropomorphized animal people. So like what furries wish they were. Yes. And of course, like they're like persecuted by humans and living in their own city, and that kind of setup.
Oh my god.
But then humans are only in an antagonistic role for like 5 minutes in the first episode, and then all of the villains in this series are like the fucking thinly coded minority group.
Why should the humans be in it at all? Why can't the whole universe just be furries? Like, why do they need to all be in one city? I'm confused.
I think that's what he's saying, is that they like set it up as it was going to be like a class struggle thing or like a xenophobia type thing, but then the like the powerful group, you know, the majority or whatever the fuck you want to call them, just doesn't exist after the beginning.
Yeah.
And all the bad guys are also just like in the city,
race or class traders then, kind of. Yeah.
Cool. Is it bad that the first thought that came to my mind was like the logistics of starting an entirely new major city is just like impossible?
Yeah.
Like,
did they co-op the city? Did they just like take over
Did they like
Chicago?
Force people out, or did they just build a city from scratch in the middle of nowhere?
Built a city from scratch in the middle of nowhere in 10 years.
And I was like,
so dumb.
The logistics just don't work.
Yeah. Oh,
cities are where they are for very specific reasons. The reason a city explodes is because of its location. You can't just like create an artificial city in the middle of South Dakota and be like, all right, 500,000 people, move on in. Like,
fuck, what a it's bad.
Hey, you know, not everything can be as good as Chainsaw Man. Am I right, Lucas?
Chainsaw Man was really good this week. It's ramping up.
Oh, tell me about it, Lucas. Tell me.
Yikes. Debate.
The Gun Devil. So,
The Gun Devil? Tell me about the Gun Devil, Lucas.
You know how, like, villains will be set up in a lot of pieces of media where they showed up and then, like, whatever ridiculous number of people died?
No.
Sure.
Honestly, I don't. But yes, continue.
Rather than doing that, rather than it being like the Gun Devil showed up and then 500 people died, it was instead, oh yeah, the Gun Devil showed up, and then the rest of the comic, this chapter, as the events played out, it was the names of all of the people that died just in the margins of the comic, scrolling through as everything else was playing out. And I found that to be really powerful and a really interesting use of this visual medium.
Yeah. The minute you started to say, you know how when they introduce a villain, I was like, this is going to be an anime-specific trope. And, like, has probably permeated. So well, Lucas thinks that, like, this is a common thing, but I don't think I'm going to have that cultural mindset.
Ryan, I'll explain it in a, I don't know, maybe in a frame that, like, you would understand from media that you've consumed. So you know how, like, when something happens and, like, a bunch of the population turns into furries and then the humans hate them because they're furries and the furries go start their own city from scratch? It's like that.
Fuck, what was that one movie where some people had telepathy? Fuck! This is going to drive me crazy. Did it have Bruce Willis in it?
Oh!
Is it Looper? No.
No.
What movie is it?
Something Protocol? No. It's Tom Cruise, right?
Really?
It's the mind crime or whatever fucking, right?
Minority Report?
Minority
That's not what
Report.
I was thinking of.
Oh, really?
No. I was thinking of a different movie, and there's like a scene where a little girl is like levitating a crystal and they're persecuted. Is it Ryan Reynolds who's in it? Oh no! This is so bad. That was my equivalent. It's not furries, but it's like some people have telepathy and they're like shunned for it.
Also, I just want to get this in super quick because I'm remembering the levels of badness in this anime. Some of the furries are just magic, which not great when you're trying to go for like, and this is like an analogous like real world discriminated group. And also the furries, if they get too stressed out, they will turn into literal monsters and go on rampages.
Oh, that's not a message you want to send.
No.
So I think telepathy is the wrong word for it. What is when you're like levitating things with your mind? Telekinesis. Yeah. Yes. That's what I'm thinking of. Some people have telekinesis movie. This is a great search. There's a category, films about telekinesis.
Oh, God.
Number 1, Star Wars films. There's a subcategory.
Oh, man.
Huh. I think
every Star Wars movie, right? Has telekinesis in it in theory?
Yes.
Wow, that's how, like, prevalent the Force is as, like, a common concept, because I forgot that, the Force is just telekinesis. What the fuck?
Yeah. Also, I don't think it is Looper! It's Looper! It's absolutely Looper! Yes,
Wait, they
I
have
knew
telekinesis in Looper?
Yeah, there's some people that are persecuted in that movie because they have telekinesis, and it's a total side plot. It's not the point of the movie.
Oh.
But they bring that up. Yeah, and it's Bruce Willis. He's talking to a little girl, and she, like, gets a crystal out of a dresser and levitates it, and he's, like, explaining to her how, like, she's going to be persecuted for this. Boom! I love Looper. It's really good. But also, like, it's not even, like, the main point of the movie. It's just a random side element of the movie is that some people have telekinesis.
That seems like a really easy, like, thing to be persecuted for that you can hide.
Well, you're, like, persecuted for it, but you're not, like, so it's weird. It's definitely a weird dynamic. Like, you're feared because it's a very small minority of people have that ability. I can't remember what they call it. But like, you are in, like, the quote-unquote ruling class almost because you have that ability.
Well,
it's almost like a superhero dynamic. Like, you are considered powerful, and therefore you're, like, shit on by the majority of society, but you still, like, are powerful,
Like we must destroy those who have big muscles and huge cocks.
But they kind of don't. Like, they make TV shows about them and shit, but it's almost like you're going to be a second-class citizen, but you're still going to, like, it's going to give you a leg up sort of thing. It's weird.
Like, is this stop somebody's heart level powerful telekinesis?
I don't think so. I think it's, like, minor. It's almost like a parlor trick type thing.
No, Lucas, they don't have anime power.
Nah. I think the main usage that they do for it is, like, you can, push that gun with your mind over to my hand. Like, I don't think it's ever like, the world ends because of, this person's got such powerful telekinesis, except for the main baddie. Everyone should watch Looper. It's really a good movie. I don't know. The time travel doesn't always make sense, but it's a good movie.
All right.
Is it as good as Chainsaw Man?
I've never read Chainsaw Man, so I'm not gonna say.
Hey, right. If you say it is as good as Chainsaw Man, that is the quickest way to get me to watch that.
But I haven't read Chainsaw Man, so I don't know.
All right, sticking to your guns. That's fair.
What if Chainsaw Man's really good? I'll never know.
It is.
So, okay. Chainsaw Man's really good, Lucas?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Let's see. Is there a way for you to send me a way to read Chainsaw Man?
That's illegal.
In English?
No, actually, like the first 3 chapters are free on the Viz Shonen Jump website.
That's not illegal.
I am gonna read Chainsaw Man.
Oh my
What
god.
am I going to have to? What is the equivalence exchange here? What deal am I making?
You're
with
gonna
the
have to
devil?
listen to Andrew shit on Chainsaw Man when he inevitably doesn't like it. That's your penance.
You ain't gonna have to do nothing, Lucas. But wait.
You begged and pleaded, so now Andrew's gonna do it, and now he's gonna shit on it. And he's going in wanting to shit on it, so it's gonna be bad.
And here's the thing. I'm not going to say that I am the most egalitarian person in the world. But
really?
I would hope, Lucas, that you do trust me to honestly, try to consume this with an open mind. And I will do my fucking best to do so. And I did that with the anime show. I've done that with other things that you've recommended to me. So I'm going to read this not with the intention of finding things that are bad about it. That being said, I'm not gonna hold anything back.
I don't want you to like the same things I like. I just want you to give it a chance, give it the benefit of a doubt. We can have a conversation about it, and then through it I can gain a better understanding of media I care about. So I am totally okay with this.
This sounds like an absolute win.
Lucas taking the mature ground.
Yeah. 2 weeks later. Dude, this fucking sucked, Lucas. I don't agree with you. You're not creative, so your opinion has no credence here. And I'm just sitting here eating popcorn, the gif where the folding chair, you flick it and it all goes out and you sit down and start watching.
Is that Jeff Bridges or something?
Yeah, I can't remember who it is. It looks kind of like Jeff Bridges.
I can't wait for the criticism that's just, this is what this is. I can't wait for you to say, this fucking sucks. Why is it in black and white?
Lucas is already identifying the pain points.
Yeah. He's you can't hurt me when you say that this character is terribly written. That's what it is.
I'm stealing your ammunition. Ooh, there's a 1,000-year-old dragon in the first chapter. You can't just say that 1,000-year-old dragon is dumb. I'm saying it's dumb, so here you go.
There's yet to be a dragon in Chainsaw Man.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
But no, it's probably perfectly non-problematic with its sex and everything like that, right?
Actually, yeah.
Oh, wow. It is the only anime/manga that's ever been made.
Let's fucking see.
That has no problematized sexual relationships.
I don't think there's been anything in there that wasn't definitely a part of the themes.
Boy. Oh wait, what does that mean?
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm confused now.
In a comic called Chainsaw Man with the gun devil in it, I don't know if that's really a defense.
I mean, no, there isn't any character that's just this is the sexy character because we need to fucking sell some figurines or some shit. No, every character with any kind of sexuality or sex as like a part of their like character traits, like that fits into some of the broader themes, broader character arcs of what the story is trying to express. It's never fan servicey
or problematic in that
fan
it doesn't
service is
align
not
with
the
the
only-
Western mode of thinking on a lot of these issues. Like consent is not going to be a quasi gray area like it is in a lot of that type of material.
No, I don't think that's an issue here.
Lucas laying down the gauntlet.
Yeah.
This is
stance
the
is
non-problematic anime. It feels like you're asking for Andrew to find problems, though.
So you said there's like the first 3 issues or whatever. Is that a substantial amount, or is that like 10 minutes of reading? I don't know anything about like how this is structured.
That is absolutely like 15 minutes of reading. I think the first chapter is like maybe 40 pages, but then the following are like 20.
Okay. Am I going to get
Jesus.
like enough material out of this to understand what this is? Or am I going to have to do something else to like read?
I mean, that's
farther
probably the
down?
design, right? Why they make
Yeah.
it.
First
Those 3
three-
chapters are free.
First 3
Oh, no.
chapters, you get the vibe. Like that is, hey, here's the art
vibe,
style.
but I mean, like, am I going to get into like content that I can speak to or speak about?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Can
that
you really?
yeah.
Sorry. Can
No,
you
go
really
for it.
read 80 pages of a manga in 15 minutes?
Kinda.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I've literally never read one before. And you have to go right to left, but is it?
Yeah,
is
they
it
didn't.
backwards.
They didn't flip it for the English version, right? It's still right to left.
Older manga they did that. Not anymore. Not for this one. No.
In the if it's
But I've always
written
been
in
confused.
English, it's right to left, but because they're reprinting it in English, you still read the lines left to right, but the bubbles you read right to left.
Correct.
The bubbles you read right to left, but the frames are going to be read left to right. You mean?
Right, or no, the lines in English are read left to right, but the frames are read
Okay.
right to
so
left.
like the word bubbles are still read left to right, but the frames of drawings are right to left. Is it backwards though? Like is it bottom to top? Because I feel like I've been
No.
confused by that before.
Top to bottom.
Still top to
It's
bottom.
still top to bottom.
Got it.
I don't know why I know this. I've never read a manga.
What about the pages? Are the pages right to left or the pages left to right?
Pages are right
If
to
you-
left.
If you
Yeah,
open it up like a magazine,
You would open it up like you were reading a book in English backwards, basically. You would go to the back cover and then flip it open.
'cause I definitely like, step my toe into some like Japanese short stories that use that type of thing, and it's not like a true manga, and I always get confused and have to like orient myself for like 5 minutes, like figuring out, like almost calibrating.
Right.
Like, does this story make sense when it's told this way? Because sometimes it's deceivingly like cohesive when you read it wrong. So you really have to like give it the sniff test of like, I'm going to read this page, in 4 different ways and figure out which way makes the most sense from a story perspective.
Welcome to
Oh,
13-year-old me stumbling into this.
I remember why I know how this works now. Lucas bought me like a big, I don't know if it was like a volume or whatever you call it.
First
of,
volume
like,
of Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan when I was in high school, and
Oh boy.
because I liked the first season of Attack on Titan. Like that's one of the few anime that I've watched and been like, oh, I kind of like this. I didn't watch any of the rest of the series.
You don't need to. It's even more fascisty.
Yeah, I tried to read the manga and I couldn't get into it. Sorry,
Nah.
Lucas.
No,
I
it's fine.
appreciate the gift anyway.
Yeah.
I do
Also,
still own it.
Aw. Yeah, it'd be a dig if you threw that away. Also,
Yeah, I just used it as Kindle.
Yeah.
I dropped the Wikipedia image description of how to read manga in the chat. So there's that.
Huh, that's crazy that there has to be like an article.
Yeah. All right. Look at us setting up future material like an actual podcast.
I've been playing LA
Production.
Noir. That's
Oh
my
shit!
breakout.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
I never
like it a lot.
finished that game. I never finished it.
I like it a lot. I just got promoted to the homicide desk. Got promoted
Ooh.
off of traffic.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Although I don't like how arbitrary it sometimes seems.
Okay.
Like, it's when you're calling out lies. I use evidence, and then Cole says, or Cole, right? It's Cole?
Yeah. Cole Phelps.
Cole Phelps. He says it wrong. Like I pick evidence that I want him to say this sentence, like, oh, this pink slip is relevant because, like, these two previous heists are, these two previous car thieves were, they both had the same pink slip from this location. So I click lie, use that pink slip as the evidence that's proving that they're lying, and then the guy goes, and then Cole Phelps says, like, you know for sure that these pink slips are fraudulent. And then, like, he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it gives me the question as being wrong. And I was like, but that's not what I wanted him to say. Like, I had the correct evidence. I just didn't know how to, like, it was arbitrary as to which thing would prove him wrong. Like, I'm like, what do you know about these alleged car thefts and how they have legitimate paperwork? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so I say, lie. Look at these pink slips that come from this location. And then Phelps says, like, you knew about it all along. And then, like, he's like, no, I didn't. And it's like, that's not what I had the evidence. I just, like, picked the wrong thing, I guess. God damn it, my phone. So, like, that part has been frustrating. It's only when I'm calling out lies. And I know that, like, when you, like, if you call it out wrong, you can still get the correct ending, like, and shit like that. It's based on, like, you might have to do more work, or, like, there might be, like, more action in order to, like, balance out for it. But it's frustrating specifically with lies. Like, with truth, like, if I get burned and I think someone's lying, or I doubt them when they're telling the truth, then I don't, it's like, oh, shit, my fault. Or if I believe them and I got suckered, I'm like, oh, yeah, my fault. But it's when I say lie, I choose an evidence that clearly, like, is proving that they're lying, but, like, the game doesn't recognize that particular type of evidence as being the evidence that, like, proves that they're lying. Like, it's really this other piece of evidence that also proves that they're lying, and you should have chose that one and not this one. And it's like, God damn it.
When in that game, when you, like, try to call people out on lying or, like, doubting what they're saying and that kind of stuff, sometimes they just won't give, like, what is an actual response. It'll be like, you did this, didn't you? I have the, shoe prints to prove it. And they're like, you're a piece of shit, is the response. Or, like, go to hell. Or, like, why you gotta be like that? And then,
because it's wrong.
Right. But, like, that's not even, like, in a response. I'm like, I don't know what that means. And, like, I don't know what I did wrong here. And then, like, the idea that the game was kind of marketed as, like, famously, like, we've got all these very realistic facial animations in the game, but, like, you don't really even, at least I can't most of the time, tell what fucking faces they're making. It's like you ask them a question and they're like, I don't believe I know what that is, and then they, like, make, like, a really funny face.
Yeah, it means they're lying.
Yeah, well, but not always, apparently.
It literally, like, 99% of the time.
Because I remember playing that game, I'm like, they're, like, staring at the ceiling and, like, sticking their tongue out and shit. I'm like, I'm going to call them out on a lie. And it's like, you got that wrong. Like,
well, if you say lie instead of doubt. Like, lie you only say when you absolutely, like, have them dead to rights and you have the correct evidence to prove they're lying. If you know that they're lying but you can't quite prove it, you just doubt. And then, like, any time that they're lying, if you say doubt or lie, you get it right, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. But if you doubt it, then you get less, like, progress towards the truth coming out. Like, if you lie and you call it out, like, the game progresses you farther along the storyline. Whereas if you just doubt, it's only going to progress you a little bit because, like, you don't have the correct evidence to call it out at that time.
It didn't help that I was playing it on, like, a 13-inch TV at, like, 480p. The resolution was shitty. I couldn't tell what they were doing.
Yeah. So ironically, when in doubt, I doubt. Like, when I'm not quite sure, but it looks like they're lying, and, like, based on what I know about the case, it seems like they're lying, then I'll just doubt.
I did not realize there was such a Phoenix Wright element to this game. I kind of want to... Okay.
And I guess maybe run it.
Probably.
I would say Lucas could probably run it.
I guess the only follow-up question I have... Is it weird to be playing a game where you're playing as a cop right now, or is it so, like, removed from,
the cops are all right bastards.
Now? Okay.
Everyone in the precinct is, like, shitty. Like, even Cole Phelps, like, they call him out. explicitly
fucking sucks.
Well, they call him out explicitly for like having implicit biases. Like his partner is like, because he's like, oh, I don't know, I thought that guy was pretty upstanding, and he was like, you know, an older white guy, and then, you know, his partner's literally like, would you have thought that if he was Hispanic or black? Like, just because he's in the upper crust and like maybe went to the country club with your dad, like you think that he was telling the truth? Like that guy was a scumbag and a total liar. And like, you know, they call him out for his biases, and then yeah, everyone else is literally like using racial slurs and being really shitty. So it's pretty like, yeah, this is on point, and at the same time I get to solve mysteries. Like, you know, it's like playing GTA 5, right? Like everyone's a criminal and a piece of shit and like constantly killing and maiming people, but like the game is fun. Like I enjoy RPing as this type of thing sometimes. I don't know.
God, okay, yeah, I think I might have to check this out now. That was a really good pitch. Andrew, you got anything you want to shout out quick?
Not checking out anything new as far as I can tell. Still, just doing my bullshit.
Still on my bullshit.
I'm not back on my bullshit because I've never been.
Never left your bullshit. For the group chat.
Oh, here we go.
Have a new Madden challenge for tomorrow.
Yeah.
What are we doing, boys?
Monday Night Football on Twitch TV. It won't be on Twitch, though. It's the wrinkle I decided.
No.
I'm just going to pre-record the game and then not look at the results and then upload it to YouTube so we can all like watch it actually synced up.
Oh.
Like we can all just go 3, 2, 1, play and like actually watch it synced up at the same time. Because literally there's no reason to live stream it and have like all the technical problems with live streaming. I'll just record it and then upload it and not see the result or anything beforehand. So yeah, it'll be on my YouTube channel, but it'll be unlisted. So I mean, I guess, I don't know, maybe I could make it public, but who cares? So this week's challenge was pick a team that you can pick like all their players that fit into the Packers' positions of need, and you know, who can come up with the better solution to fill the Packers' positions of need with another team. And it sounds like I accidentally found the solution, but it seems like Andrew quasi believes in his solution.
So we both ended up picking the Chargers and all the same players. But Ryan had already said that like that's kind of the team he thought he would go for, and I looked at him like, yeah, this is hands down the best, just like an on paper standpoint. And then so I went with like, because I had come up with like a ranking system for players and all that kind of shit from different teams, and my second choice was the Ravens. And we kind of looked at those teams, and like my team is basically just like a almost as good but not as good version of like all those players. And also it's not fun to just take probably the best team from last year's regular season and to plug all their players in, because like, yeah, you take a really good team and you put them on the Packers and it's even better. So I decided to look for a team that wasn't like, you know, super high caliber in the same way that like the Saints or the Chiefs or the Ravens were. And I decided, instead of just going with the best players, to try to find a group of players that I think could possibly beat Ryan's team. So even though I fucking hate myself, I'm going with the Patriots, hoping that their lockdown defense can basically nullify his super offense, and that
super defense,
and that my skill position players can like maybe just edge out his defense by chance a little bit.
I feel like my defense might be better than yours on its own. Okay.
I mean, it's real close.
The defenses are close and then the offenses are not. So it's kind of like,
yep.
We'll see about this. It feels a little less fun because Andrew doesn't truly believe in his team, but I think you're trying to like pretend that you do.
Well, I mean, but like I'm at that point I decided to play a different game. Like I am trying to beat you. I wasn't trying to find the best team. I am trying to beat you. So god damn it, I'm going to try to fucking beat you.
Yep. So Monday Night Football on not Twitch TV. coming to you live.
The pre-recorded live.
Yeah, the Green Bay Chargers versus the
New England
Green Bay
Packers.
Patriots.
So are we just going to run with the uniforms of the teams that we picked? The Chargers uniforms and the Pats uniforms?
No, I was going to run with the same as last time.
Okay.
Although I'm going to use the throwbacks this time. The 2010s throwbacks with the circle. And then you'll just have like the bland white. So
Okay.
we'll be doing it.
Am I going to be the Bills still then?
Doing it well.
Or-
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I wasn't going to re-transfer all the Packer players.
Oh, okay.
All I did was take the roster from last time, trade back all the players that we stole, and then start from there, like as a jumping off point. I was not gonna fucking go crazy. That takes a while. It takes like a good 45 minutes to duplicate a team, so I was not gonna do that.
I appreciate your effort, Ryan.
Yep. And we appreciate your effort, listener.
Oh shit! Moving
No,
on my
it's been a
turf,
bit of a
Ryan.
slog
Go for it.
listening to this podcast.
Damn.
I'm kidding.
Actually, yeah. Do you guys want to do the outro?
No, I don't know the words.
Ow.
You have a
Andrew-
script, right?
Oh God, no.
Oh Jesus.
It's all up in his head.
Ryan, I've done this 101 times. Like, if I don't have it down by now.
Well, I'm curious if you're gonna hit our social justice combo, because we have 4 different topics now
Hell.
that we're shouting out, and we need to add a 5th.
Oh, we were doing it. Oh God, I thought it was just gonna be monthly. Okay. Thank you all so much for listening to the 102nd episode of the Voluntary Viewing podcast. If you enjoyed it, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, etc., depending on the platform you are listening to this on. Also, please check out our Patreon. Support us financially there if you're able to. A couple of great tiers. Email us your questions or business opportunities, voluntaryviewing@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter for updates at V2_podcast. Follow me on Twitter because I'm awesome at Lucas the Writer. If you are able to financially, I believe we shouted it out earlier in the episode, but support or make a donation to Act Blue. That money goes to a collection of great progressive charities. Not the Quarantine Cast, but gonna do this anyway. Please believe women, believe survivors of abuse. Only way we're going to meaningfully address this stuff is if we, believe those who are affected by it. Black Lives Still Matter. Shout out to the LGBTQ plus community. No longer in Pride Month, but still deserve those shout outs. And I don't know if this one counts technically or not because I did it on the Duocast Friday, but be mindful, respectful, and support Native American communities, especially close to 4th of July. Remember that, America being what it is today means that that group of people was horribly treated, and it's, about time we kind of make that right in whatever ways that we can. Ryan, was that 5 or am I still at 4?
That was 4.
That was
Need
4.
one more. You need to keep the game of telephone going. You need to
Um,
remember all of them.
Crap. I'm burnt out.
Fuck Nazis.
Fuck Nazis. That might be the
Yeah.
title of this episode.
Black Lives Matter. Shout out to the LGBTQ plus community. Believe women. Shout out to the Native American and indigenous peoples across the entire world. And fuck Nazis.
Fuck 'em.
Good night, everyone.
We gotta do a clap sync.
Ooh, I'm synchronizing still.
Oh.
Shit's broken.
Oh no.
Time has stopped.
It's working for you guys, though?
Yep.
Boy. Alright, now's mine's working.
10, 11, 12.
Yep. Well, I might be a little.
I'm
behind you.
also like half a second behind.
Let me refresh. 20, 1, 2.
No, now I'm like a full second.
Yeah, me too.
Oh,
Refresh
God.
again.
29, 30, 1.
No, I'm a full second ahead.
Have you been refreshing, Lucas?
I'm refreshing every time.
Okay.
Is that how far the delay is, or?
No, usually it's like on time.
I'm looking at 44, 5,
6, 7.
I think we're
8,
good.
9.
Okay.
Right. Let's do it at 53. There's no way. No way. We
That's
were right
so
there.
off.
Okay, let me refresh. We can do it one more time. Hopefully.
It was like 1, 2, 3. Like,
Oh no, this was such a good episode too. 10, 11,
No, mine's not
12.
you're
even
a
up.
full second. You're a
Mine's
full second
mine won't
behind
even
us.
come up.
Oh. So is it time.gov?
Yeah, time.gov.
Do we want to try?
No, I know.
think-
Is time.gov the website?
Well, it's
fucked up
gotta
right
be.
now?
We've never had this issue before.
I heard time.is is another one.
What is it?
Time.is, is.
Accurate time clock. Let me see if there's a accurate. Yeah, time.is one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
41, 2.
Hold on, I'm not on
There-
time.is
oh.
yet.
Okay, I think
Okay.
it's good though, based on what you're saying.
Okay, I'm on.
50, 1, 2.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's do it at 58.
And cut out the first one.
Cut out all this shit.
Maybe
All right.
maybe save and put it in as a post roll.